Do you have any panels laying around that you're wondering what to do with? Join us today as we go through some different projects. Welcome to Handi Quilter's Watch and Learn. I'm Kristina Whitney.
And I'm Kim Sandberg.
And we are Chief Quilting Operators here at Handi Quilter. I'm sorry, I had to throw it in there.
I love it. We are the Chief Quilting Operators here, absolutely. We've actually been doing a lot of quilting lately, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
And specifically with panels.
We have, yeah, and we got this really fun panel that it came from Shabby Fabrics, and they shared it with us for Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day, everybody. But it was really fun to look at this panel. So Kim, you've got a panel over there. Why don't you open that up and we'll show everybody what the full panel looks like.
Okay, let me get this here. So this is the full panel.
Isn't that cute?
It's got so many fun little motifs on it. And it's a little bit of a different shape, so.
Yeah, very long and skinny, yeah. But make sure that you stay tuned because we're gonna do something special at the end of the video with this panel, so make sure that you're there for the announcement.
Yes.
So, again, keeping suspense going.
That's right.
Okay, so Kim.
Yes.
You did several different projects using the panel.
I did. Okay, so let's take a look here. I took some pictures along the way of what I was doing. First of all, I started out with, I picked 4 of the blocks from this panel, as you can see here, and I cut them out each. And then I loaded one backing on my frame with batting, and then I decided I was going to split this up and do a few different projects out of it. But I did one backing for all 3 projects. So I made a bag, I did a pillow, and I did a little mini quilt. So let me just kind of walk you through some of the projects, or some of the steps of what I did here. So first of all, with the bag, I wanted to reinforce the handles so that they would be nice and sturdy. So I took just a piece of twill tape and I wrapped it in the center of a piece of 2.5-inch strip cut fabric and stitched it down.
Do we want to show the viewers the bag so that they know what the end project is?
I'm so used to like keeping everybody in suspense.
Oh, dang it.
I know. So this is the bag that I made. It turned out really fun, and I used the panel for the pockets.
Yeah, isn't this fun? Look, pocket.
So cute, so cute. And of course, I totally went off the Valentine's Day theme. So I used 2 of those squares that I had for this. But first I had to get all of this quilted and put together. So I made the handles first, and then I actually pressed them down, stitched along them, and so that they were nice and reinforced and they're going to be nice and sturdy. And then I took this white fabric here on the top and the fabric here on the bottom, and I sewed them together. But I wanted to have this handles integrated in the quilting for some extra support. So as you can see in this picture here, I've got everything pinned together. I've got my 2 handles there, and I'm just stitching straight across. And in this next one here, you can see as I folded it back up. So when I loaded this on the frame, I did have the 2 handles kind of flopping around, and I just moved them from one side to the other because I did 2 different motifs in the quilting here. I did a cute heart edge to edge up here on the top. And of course, if you don't have a pro stitcher, you can do any kind of a heart, loops, pantograph, anything like that. And then on the bottom, I did a cool hexagon edge to edge. I wanted the quilting to be a little bit denser on the bottom, just to kind of make it a little heavier and sturdier there at the bottom.
Perfect.
So, and I stitched that, and I did it all with the same thread. I used just like a nice light pink thread. I thought it was a nice contrast between the 2. I took it off the frame and I trimmed it up, and then I had to put the little pockets on. Now I wanted to reinforce these pockets, so I used some of this handy dandy Fusion Bond, light sewable Fusion Bond. So this is the stuff that you iron it in, and it sticks on both sides, and it just makes things a little heavier. So we'll set that out of the way here, and I've got a picture here showing how I did that. I took and sewed the lining fabric and the panel piece together, and then I inserted the bond in between the 2 and then just pressed it together so it was nice and firmly held in place It's not going to wiggle, and it also gives it a little bit more structure. I keep saying that with this bag. Bags are good if they have a little bit of structure, right? And it kind of holds their shape. So next, I had to mark where I wanted to sew down this pocket. Now, just a note here, I did take this off the frame to sew the pockets on, but I certainly could have used my long arm to do that. Yeah. At this point, I wanted to take it off and trim it up, and then I did the pockets. I just did it this way this time. So I marked them, and then I just sewed them down using a nice straight stitch machine. And then I turned it inside out and sewed up the side seams all the way, and then I boxed the corners so that it has a nice flat bottom to sit on, so that if it is full of stuff, it's got, let's use the word again, structure, and it will stand up straight. And then as a finishing touch, I actually bound the seams on the inside. I know, I went super fancy. And
oh, look
this
at that.
is my favorite little extra thing that I did. So I did binding along the top here, and I made a little ring that you can put your keys. You could clip like your keys or something like that too. You could always also add pockets to the inside of this. Just remember, if you're gonna add pockets to the inside, you need to do that after you quilt the quilt. Otherwise, they get quilted shut.
Yeah, and you don't want your pockets quilted shut because you can't put anything in them then.
Exactly, exactly. So this bag turned out really fun. If you're interested in more detail on exactly how to do this, we've actually done a few videos in the past walking through this step by step, but this is just the basic bag on a long arm, but it's just a nice bag. And what a fun way to use the panel, right?
Yes.
Just add a little fun pop.
I think a lot of times we see a panel, a piece of fabric, and we're a little bit too intimidated to cut it.
Yes.
We have no problems cutting up printed yardage to make quilts, but a panel. Oh. So yeah, we're going to give you a little bit of freedom here to, you know, take that panel and make it useful for what you're wanting to use it for.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, let's see what else you made.
The other two that I made, so this is just a cute little pillow cover, and I did a little bit of piping here along the edge. I just quilted one block on this one from Pro Stitcher, and it actually has a fun little heart motif. So if you take a look here, here's a picture of the design that was on the Pro Stitcher screen when I quilted it. It turned out really cute. But I just did that really simply. And then I put 2 pieces of fabric over the top of it. Well, first I stitched this little, the little piping along the edge. And then I put the 2 pieces of fabric so that it just makes the nice little envelope. And then you just flip it over and it's done. I don't know about you, but I love making pillows like this.
Yes, pillows on the long arm are so quick and easy. And you just did like a Pro Stitcher design, perfect. Now, did you, refresh my memory, did you do this at the same time as you did the bag on your long arm? So you did multiple projects at the same time?
I actually had three little projects on there. Yeah, if you look inside here, you can actually see that same fabric that's inside my bag.
That looks familiar.
I used the same, I had a scrap that was big enough for all 3, so I used that. My one other project that I did, and this one's kind of a self-explanatory, but I just made a cute little mini. Sometimes it's fun to just take these cute little parts of the panel that you're like, what do I do with these? And you make this. I was actually thinking of turning this into like a classic Valentine. If any of you have ever done postcards, have you ever done quilted postcards? Have you ever made?
I actually have not.
It's something we should do sometime. We should do. But you can actually take a piece of like cardstock and sew to the back of something like this and then write a little note on it if you wanted to give away as something like that. Little mini quilts like this are great too. You can just hang them on the wall. They're fun to give to other quilters. I know that some of my most treasured possessions are mini quilts that I've gotten from other quilters because I know how much time they take, right?
Yes. And not even quilters, just friends for Valentine's Day. Make your husband hang them up in his office.
There you go. I like that one. So that's just one other thing that I did with it. Now, you took the rest of the panel. We took one panel and divided it, and I did 4 of the squares, and you've got 4 here. So let's take a look at what you did.
Okay, so mine's still in progress. And what I'm doing is I'm just making a mini wall hanging, which I can hang on my door for Valentine's Day. I can gift it to somebody, hang it up at work, whatever I feel like doing. But I wanted to show how you can take, oh, I hate to say this, a cheater panel.
Let's not call it a cheater panel. Let's call it a professional panel.
A professional panel.
A professional panel.
Yes.
This is the way professionals get quilting done. We don't piece, we just quilt, right?
Yes, but there are some fabrics out there that look like they have been pieced.
Yes.
And so you can use that to your advantage. So I'm just going to walk through real quickly the process that I did. So first of all, I loaded it like I would any quilt. So I've got my backing, my batting, and then the top. And then I wanted to make it look like it was pieced.
Yeah.
So I did stitch in the ditch around the block.
Nice.
Okay. So I'm going to continue and do that on these 2 bottom blocks as well.
Okay.
And that creates 4 blocks with some sashing and border.
Love it.
Okay. But then inside the block, that's where the fun happens.
Yeah.
Okay. I did a little bit of custom work on this one. And I outlined the motif. And I just used kind of free motion. I also like to use my baby grand and use that to help guide around the design.
So let's show everybody that notch so they can understand how you're doing that.
Okay, so on the baby grand, it's got this little notch right here. And I put that right up against the foot. And I'm not pushing with the ruler, but I just have a little bit of pressure there, so that helps me control the machine. Because sometimes, you know, the machine likes to go off in its own direction. And so if you have that there, that's giving you just a little bit more control.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes I do that. And so I went all the way around the outside. And then I came back, and I'm using I think I'm using a micro quilter, or I can't remember which one I ended up using. It's either a micro quilter, 100 weight, or a 50 weight so fine.
Like a blending thread?
Let's just take a quick look. I ended up with the so fine.
So fine, okay. 50 weight, so fine.
Yeah, but you know, you could use a finer thread if you want it to blend even more. But I went back and I just did kind of a little bit of playing in the flowers.
So cute.
And just kind of emphasized what's printed on the fabric. And then after that part was done, then I went back and I just did a fill on this background section.
It looks so great. It's, you know, now to me, it looks like you actually took the time to applique it.
Yes, I did applique that.
It's fantastic.
I don't know that I've ever really done a whole lot of applique. It's
Oh.
on my bucket list. Someday. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing in the other 3 blocks.
Okay.
So these 2 I'll need to stitch in the ditch, and then I'll go back in and just echo around the motif,
Okay.
echo this one, maybe add a little detail in the flowers, and then go back in and do a background fill.
So cute.
So I need to decide, do I want to do the same background fill in all 4 blocks, or do I want to get wild and crazy and do something different?
I think you should do something different.
Oh, you're going to make me think.
I am going to make you, but I have an idea. Okay.
Okay.
So this one was plain. So you did this fun little, I don't even know, what do we call this?
Paisley.
Yeah,
Call it
paisley. Such a cute, one of my favorite ones. This one has hearts in it. Why don't you do something that has maybe a little heart motif in it as you're quilting? Maybe
I
like
could do
just
that.
a meander with a heart?
Yeah.
That'd be cute.
Oh, and this one I can do cross
Crosshatch.
hatch. Okay, how about this guy over here?
So how can you do X's and O's? We'll have to think about that one, but we could come up with it.
What if I marked it with a grid, and every other block I did X, and then an O.
I love it.
X. I got to figure out my path.
You'll figure out your path. I love it. I love it. I think that's a great idea. And you know, how fun too with this panel to be able to practice these different designs just in small areas. It's kind of fun to do, huh?
Especially since I didn't spend a whole lot of time piecing it. So I don't have a ton invested in it. If I decide, oh, I'm not overly happy with how it turned out, plus, you know, it's probably only going to be shown once a year.
Yep.
That kind of thing. Yep, so the last thing on the quilting is the sashings and the borders. And I'm thinking, similar to what you were talking about doing in this love block, is I'll probably do kind of a meander with loops and hearts, and just kind of do it randomly, because I don't know if you noticed, but the sizing is a little bit different in each section.
It is.
So I think I'll just keep it something kind of open and free and just play with it.
I love it.
Yep. Then I'll cut it off, bind it, put a sleeve on,
Done.
call it good. And I love all of your projects.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, and I used rulers also for my stitch in the ditch.
Nice.
That's why the rulers are all sitting here.
Got to have your tools, right?
Yes.
That's so great.
Okay. Are we ready for the fun stuff?
I think we are.
Okay, so we have an extra panel.
Yes, we do.
Which includes all 8 of these squares
Yep.
in one piece. And we have decided to do a giveaway. So to enter the giveaway, we need you to leave a comment on the video. The comments will be open, well, the comments will always be open, but we will be polling from the comments through next Monday. So that's what, February 19th, I believe?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then next week, we will announce who the winner is. So that means that you have to watch next week so that you hear your name and what you need to do to actually have us ship it to you, because we'll need a shipping address.
Right.
So make sure that you watch next week to find out if you won the panel. So, and again, just leave a comment.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add in to?
I think that's it.
How about we add in that the comments have to be nice?
Only positive comments filled with love on
Yes.
this lovely Valentine's Day week.
Yes.
I like that.
But not creepy.
Yes.
So, hope you enjoyed watching what we did with these panels today. And if you've got panels sitting around at home, feel free to pull those out and have some fun with them. And if you don't have panels, go visit your local quilt shop and you can get some. Again, we got this one from Shabby Fabrics. And make sure that you have fun quilting.